It's not uncommon for someone to build a store and then have it just get lost in the sea of other e-commerce stores. Just because you have a website doesn't mean that you're magically going to start making money. Getting people to your store so that they can buy something from you is a lot of work. There's plenty of ways to get people to your site, but none of them are necessarily cheap and easy. You'll have to either invest time or money, or both. One of the easiest ways to get people to come to your store is with advertising. There's a lot of options when it comes to advertising. Two of the biggest players are Google AdWords and Facebook advertising. There's also plenty of smaller advertisers that you can work with if you have a more targeted audience. There's a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to advertising. You need to learn how to target to the right people. Ads are very effective and fast to set up. The main downside of advertising, however, is that you have to spend money to get people to your site. If you don't have money, you're going to have to get started with other mediums. And one of the things that's going to pay off the most is to get high ranking in search engines. Content marketing is a slower process. It may take months or even years to really pay off. The good news is that once it's written, it can continuously bring people to your site and is incredibly cost effective compared to advertising. Content marketing works really well with search engines, but that's only one way that people can find you. Social media is also a great way to share your message with a brand new audience. For the most part, social media is all about building and maintaining relationships. If you can offer useful or interesting information, people will follow you, and when you have a product or sale to announce, they'll see that message too. This can offer an avenue to reach potential customers that would have otherwise been difficult to connect with. This is more of an organic approach and is certainly one of the advantages to social media. Every industry is different, so you're going to have to see which social media channels work well for your business. Think about framing the message to the medium. Beautiful imagery won't be as compelling on Twitter. That would work better on Instagram or Pinterest. In the e-commerce world, the effort and money that you put into getting users to your site is called cost of acquisition. But in the end, it doesn't really matter how you get people to your site as long as they get there. If you do nothing, you're not going to have any traffic. You need to put some effort into building an audience. There are two very important numbers in e-commerce. One is the cost of acquisition, or COA. This refers to the cost of getting someone to make a purchase. Once you start getting customers, you're going to want to focus on the CLV, or customer lifetime value. The CLV is an estimate for how much profit you will make from each customer. To have a profitable business, you're going to want to lower your acquisition costs and increase your customer lifetime value. If your CLV is higher than your COA, you're more likely to be profitable. To determine your CLV, first you need to calculate your COA. The COA is calculated by dividing the cost per visit by your conversion rate. So let's say you're selling chocolate bars, and you've decided that advertising is the best way to get your business moving. If you pay $1 per click, and 1 out of 5 people click on the ad and actually go through the checkout process, you're going to have a 20% conversion rate. Your acquisition cost in this case is going to be $5. That means for you just to break even, you're going to need $5 profit per order. That might be kind of challenging if you're selling chocolate bars. So if a customer places an order and you only make $2 in profit, you're going to be losing money. That's when increasing the customer lifetime value becomes really important. Each industry is going to be very different in terms of how they increase the customer lifetime value, but there's several good strategies that you can employ. You could start by offering a variety pack of chocolate bars. You might convince customers to buy more products. Then you could change your CLV from $2 to perhaps $10. It would also be a good idea to send newsletters out reminding people to come back. If you just get a 20% conversion rate on your newsletter, then you've increased your CLV to $12. Think about ways that you could entice customers with related products. Perhaps they're going to need some nuts to go with their chocolates. Even a small conversion rate on a supplemental item is going to raise your CLV. Hopefully this demonstrates the idea behind raising the customer lifetime value. And you can see how increasing the CLV and lowering the COA are two major fundamentals to e-commerce. One of the easiest ways to increase the customer lifetime value is to encourage people to come back to your store. If you have the best chocolate bars in terms of flavor or effectiveness, then people will most likely come back. If they love your product, you don't really have to do too much. This is one of the advantages of creating high-quality products. You're going to be spending more money on R&D, branding, and product development, but you're going to spend less in acquisition costs. This can be really advantageous for products that are consumed regularly, like food, supplements, toothpaste, etc. There's going to be a constant need for these products, and if your store becomes the customer's go-to, you're going to get repeat business without too much effort. There are 3 really good ways to remind people that you exist and that they should come back. Those are social media, newsletters, and marketing automation. Encouraging people to follow you on social media is a good way to maintain contact with your customers. Every time a customer sees one of your posts, it's a subtle reminder that you still exist and that they should come back to your store. It's important to realize that you can't just blast sales posts all of the time. You have to give people a reason to follow you. That usually means giving them helpful resources or occasionally sending them one of your own promotions. Sending a newsletter is a great way to maintain contact. You can remind them of sales or send information about products. You should always give users an option to join your newsletter when they check out. It's only one extra checkbox that the users can click. Even if you don't send regular newsletter, you can still collect that information for use later on. Newsletters can be really helpful for seasonal businesses. Taking newsletters to the next level can be done with marketing automation. Using purchase or browsing data, you can automatically send customers targeted emails that are also referred to as autoresponders. With marketing automation, you can sell the customer on related items. You can also remind customers of your brand by sending them an email on their birthday, or just saying hello if they haven't made a purchase in a while. You might want to entice them to come back with a coupon. Reminding people to come back to your site is much easier than finding new customers. You should think about ways that you can get people to re-engage with you after each purchase. Just as effective as getting people to come back to your site is that getting them to order more per visit. There's a number of ways that you can do this. The first option is to offer a premium version of your products. Offering your product in a more expensive material or finish can open the doors to customers that you might otherwise miss. Get creative with packaging and marketing. Think about possibly selling a bundle with items that add value. For some people, this sort of marketing can hold a lot of value. They like to just buy something that's all packaged together. If I'm buying a product and I have a case to carry it in and I have something to clean it in and I can get it in one click, that sometimes can be very enticing. Another approach is called price anchoring. This is a psychological tool that takes advantage of cognitive biases that people often have. Most people often place too much importance on the first piece of data that they're presented with. In e-commerce, we call this pricing strategy. We show someone a number that's kind of high, and then any future number that we give them is going to look a little bit lower. That's why they often market really expensive items next to items that aren't so expensive. Think about a TV. If you go into a TV store, you'll often see a $10,000 television next to one for $1,000. Once you see that $10,000 one, the $1,000 one looks like a bargain. So even if you're not planning on selling very many premium products, having at least one premium product can make all of the rest of them look much more affordable. Another technique that you can use to increase your orders is to upsell and cross-sell. Upselling is when you're on a product page and you see a similar but more expensive product on the same page. You've probably seen this in action on Amazon. Other sites offer an option to compare similar items. They'll usually compare the item to a more expensive item, which has more enticing options. They're trying to encourage you to buy the more expensive version. Cross-selling is when we promote a related item, hoping the user is going to buy both. Many of the e-commerce platforms out there let you manually set upsells and cross-sells. One of the most widely used strategies in e-commerce for raising the average order is offering free shipping at a certain price point. If you know that your average order is about $80, then you could offer users free shipping at $100, and you'll start seeing people spend the extra $20 just to get the free shipping. You can also get a similar effect by offering tiered pricing. This is where you give a user a discount, and then if they add more products, you give them a larger discount. You'll see people often add a few more items so that they can reach the next level and get the more increased discount. Once you have your store set up, go ahead and explore some of these strategies. Even if you're only increasing your average order by 4 or 5%, that can add up to thousands of dollars over the year. As you generate more traffic, these small tweaks can make a big difference.